How do you feel?
I'm feeling great.
How do you feel about this week?
This week was decent. Yeah, it was a good week. A lot of hard work this week for me. Because I'm in college. I'm a college student. And
then on top of that, you have a show to do.
Yes.
And what is that show about?
Well, it's about, we talk about movies. We get a real in-depth look into
What is
famous
the name
movies.
of that show?
For the Love of Film, I think,
For the Love of Film. And this week, we will be talking about a great film. That is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Isn't that right, Gabe?
No, it's incorrect.
Okay.
That is not the one we chose, although...
Season 1 of The Wire.
That's not a movie.
Are you telling me this now?
Well, you should have kind of figured that out. It's kind of blatantly obvious. I've never actually watched this.
Goodfellas.
I mean, that is actually a good movie. But
It is a great movie, probably my favorite.
Yes, but we are not. That is not the one we agreed. We talk about it. We convene. We think about what movies we want to do.
That
is
Hitchcock
a collection of movies. This is not one singular movie. Although we actually could do an episode, just an entire episode. But we're not doing this.
I'm down to do a Hitchcock episode.
I am down, actually. I'm
you gonna do
really
Vertigo
down.
next week?
Yeah.
Have you seen Vertigo?
No.
It's really good.
I'm gonna borrow one of these.
I think you should borrow Vertigo.
And next week, but this week we have to focus on this week.
Okay, we can do it on any of these three. You choose what you want to watch.
It's Rear Window, Psycho, Vertigo. I've
seen.
seen Psycho, so I think we should just do Psycho.
I've also seen Psycho. I want you to watch a new movie and experience it for the first time.
That's true.
Because also everything in Vertigo looks fantastic.
Wait, is Vertigo like... No, that's Manchurian Candidate.
No, this movie's awesome. It's about Jimmy Stewart.
It's about Jimmy Stewart.
It's not really about him.
That'll sell everyone.
Okay, so we're not doing that this week, right?
Right, correct. We decided to do... do you have it in there, in this little concoction?
Raging Bull.
Not what we... How many did you bring for this bit?
Singing in the Rain.
No!
A great film directed and starring Gene Kelly, and Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds. R.I.P. R.I.P. girl.
Have you ever seen the film R.I.P.D.? It's
No,
garbage. It's garbage. Don't.
Do not plan on it.
It's garbage.
Also, Casablanca then.
What
That's
the?
what we're going to be
Let's
doing.
cut to the chase here. And that's not it. Citizen Kane. That ain't right. How many? Okay. Finally, just to cut to the chase here. Weller. Ferris Wheel's Day Off.
So we decided to do Hannibal Lecter's Day Off. Or Day On. Whichever
Hanna-Barbera's Silence of the Lambs.
Ferris Bueller's Silence of Jodie Foster.
It's a wonderful green.
The one where Matthew Broderick doesn't kill anyone.
We have just gone to trash. Dude, this show is Mos Eisley Spaceport now. You'll never see a greater high of scum and villainy. Silence of the Lambs. We're doing Silence of the Lambs. I wasn't aware he was going to do that bit, by the way. But I'm glad he did.
Gabe, would you tell me is this a moth or a butterfly or a bee?
Well, actually, if you look in closely, the skull on the butterfly of some sort, I think it's a moth.
I think it's supposed to be.
It's composed of naked ladies. It's true. If you look closely.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Subliminal messaging. The Illuminati controls your mind,
I'm glad it's a
kids.
moth and not a butterfly because we recently found out that butterflies are indeed the worst animal to ever live.
I disagree. I'd say.
I don't think they're important to society. I don't think they're pretty.
See,
I don't care about their metamorphosis or their diapause.
I find them rather beautiful. I say the same thing about geese. I think geese are just the lowest form of animal.
I was doing an inside baseball joke till last night.
All right.
Oh yeah, butterflies.
Yes, true.
Sorry, other filmmaker. I just did not appreciate it at all. Hope you don't watch this episode, and hope you enjoy the show. All right.
Honestly, you probably won't. Anyways, Silence of the Lambs.
Let's sit it right here.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. You won't be able to see it.
True. Awesome. So let's just get to the chase. It's a beautiful movie. I have an idea. Da 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 da.
How have we not thought of that sooner?
How? Yeah.
Just, you can do that with any of them.
God. All right. So let's just begin. What do you want to begin with? Actors, story, whatever.
Direction, Jonathan
Direction.
Demme.
Yes. Wow. No, seriously. Fantastically directed film. It's just like...
What else has he directed?
I don't know, actually.
He's directed like one other awesome thing and then a bunch of very subpar movies.
Does it
and
say
also
on
he's
the
like
back
one of
this
these guys
box? It does not.
Kind of been kicked out of Hollywood?
Yeah.
Because have you read about that?
No.
Well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I will. But there's a character in the movie who is not, I don't think, does the word transvestite still fly?
Yeah, yeah. Transsexual is probably more PC.
He's someone who believes that he might be, but he actually is not. And they say that in the movie.
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter, this guy has a lot of issues, and he thinks that may be a cure for it. Mm-hmm. And he wants a sex change, and he's rejected for his state of mental health. And so he starts doing this insidious thing of...
Hannibal Lecter's not the transvestite, by the way.
Not at all.
It's a different guy. Hannibal Lecter is the also crazy guy, but
he's the crazy guy, but he's not the antagonist or the villain of this movie. You could say he's a villain, but he's not the antagonist at all.
He's a villain. I'd say he's one of the greatest villains of all time, but strangely enough,
he's not an antagonist. So
no. If anything, he helps the protagonist.
He's a supporting character.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely does. But so the thing is, and so like with Jonathan Demme, a lot of people were upset with him because of this portrayal of this man who, as they say in the movie, is not actually a transsexual, but believes that he might be, and starts acting this very violent behavior, and then like in reality, which they also even state in the movie that they're like, well, he's not, because they've never been known, or transsexuals, or like have never been known to be aggressive or have anything to do with their mental state. They've been mostly passive, right. and have not had anything to do with violence, or if there was violence involved, it was not linked to any part of that. And so he's one of these people who's been kind of shamed. Like I know there was also that movie Boys Don't Cry in a similar manner.
Yeah.
And a lot of people shamed her, who she was actually a lesbian, but they're like, but she wasn't a transsexual. I don't know.
It's complicated.
Let's talk about the actual movie.
Yeah, let's get away from the
I just read about this online recently.
Right.
But so, yeah, this movie won approximately 1,000 Oscars.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did Jodie Foster win for this movie?
I'm almost certain she did.
I feel like Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins won.
Yeah, I know Anthony Hopkins won.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like his breakout performances, but really no one knew who he was before this movie came out.
He was around, right?
He was around, but he was not a breakout actor.
Right.
And also, he was up in age when he made this movie.
Oh, yeah, clearly, you notice that the guy's at least 40, 50.
Yeah, definitely in his 50s. But yeah, he's up in age in the movie. Mm-hmm. One of the best performances ever. Also, one thing I want to note, I don't think this is a perfect movie. So far, everything we've done so far, I don't think you've rated everything perfectly. I think I have.
You have. I wrote the last one 9.
Or did I? No, I think I gave Birdman a 4.
No,
did we do 10 out of 10 on Birdman?
No, I think we did do a 10 out of 10 on Birdman.
Yeah, Whiplash is 10 out of 10. Boogie Nights, I think we gave it a 9 out of 10. It does everything for me.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. Like,
well, let's talk about acting. This movie has a lot of characters in it, and to have some of the best performances of cinematic history, of course, with Anthony Hopkins in his portrayal of Hannibal Lecter and Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling.
And meanwul, every
other actor sucks. Like
garbage.
It has the worst acting in it.
Where's Hannibal Lecter? Because you can't find him.
It's like, because it has so many characters, so you're bound to get a few bad actors in it. So there's like a lot of cops in the movie, and the cops aren't that great. They're like, where'd he go? And that's part of. You just accept it,
Right. It kind of has a good intro in the way that like. It sets up the story, and just like the way it's like framed and everything, how it sets it up. The intro Jodie Foster's character.
I'm not into the intro.
In a thematically. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but visually, it's just not a very engaging intro. It's just kind of like, okay, she's walking. It's a static shot.
She's running.
Of her
she's
running
climbing.
Down
She's running. She's tumbling. She's riding a bicycle. She's swimming.
Right. And again, like thematically,
she's jumping.
That's very like relevant, and I'm sure it's really poetic. In a way, but it's just not the most engaging.
You don't have to give it poetic. What makes it poetic? If you don't know it's poetic.
I know I'm grasping at straws here.
Well, I mean, if you knew it was poetic and had a case for it to be poetic, but if you don't believe it is, and you still say, well, maybe it is. You can't do that. You can't. If it doesn't do it for you, and you're just like, I guess it's awesome.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's like what everyone says when they watch a Wes Anderson movie. They're like, I guess it was great.
No,
Truth be told, it was all right at
I'm
best
saying,
with
like,
incredible set design.
You can apply it to like the whole like, oh, it symbolizes her like struggle as a protagonist throughout the movie. Literally every protagonist goes through a struggle in the movie.
Well, yeah,
so it's a moot point anyway. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like a lame intro, and then the movie, once that's over, the movie starts kicking into high gear. You start seeing all this cool stuff about
It's a very
Buffalo
plot-oriented
Bill,
movie,
Hannibal
for
Lecter,
sure.
and all these criminals, right?
I would definitely say the most plot-oriented movie that we've done so far.
Oh yeah.
Because other things like even Whiplash kind of has a plot, but most Birdman, Whiplash, Boogie Nights are all about character. Boogie Nights is not a very big plot-driven movie at all, I'd say. I mean, not to say that there's never a dull moment in that movie. They just, there's just something else on every page and every scene that's just like interesting and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as an overall story, there's these little things, like, oh, Don Cheadle's not happy with his life and wants to start his own stereo shop, and then also Mark Wahlberg's not doing so well. He's getting better. No, he's not. There's a lot of arc, but as far as plot, there's not a major thing we have to get. This is very plot-oriented.
It's very convoluted at that. Well, not very convoluted, but it can get. Because there's a lot of overlapping stuff. But it's not like... You're right, it is like one major plot, but there's these overlapping stories, especially with Hannibal Lecter.
Well, that's why it won Best Picture, because it's
complex.
Yeah, it's a big movie. But the thing is, Hannibal Lecter's in it. Hannibal Lecter really, he's a big part of his story, but he's not a huge part of the actual plot. There's this crime. He has nothing to do with the crime. He's just there. He's a character, and he's helping, and he's part of the story as a whole. Not the plot, though. The plot is about this guy, and we have to find him. Girls around a certain size and hair color have started to go missing. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the change of pace with Buffalo Bill? That's his name, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
With
That's his alias.
the scene to the music.
Oh, like with him like dancing?
Yeah. And he asked the audience.
It's just a creepy scene overall.
It's weird, but it's definitely a tonal shift in the movie.
Right. It's I don't want to say comedic, but
it's strange.
It's just this is super bizarre.
It's
scene
good.
In the
Like
middle of it.
it's a really good.
Yeah, and it's a great scene. It's just kind of like it makes you feel very uncomfortable.
It's like, I didn't know I was watching a Tarantino movie.
In a very odd way.
Because it just switches to the it's like in your face, like creepy.
Yeah, it's almost
it's like,
gross out. Yeah,
you would expect the creepy symphonic score from this film in that moment. Instead, you get this pop 80s hair band dancing around with pierced nipples, and you're like, what is going on?
I don't know. I can't remember what song they actually play in that scene.
This is not the Master Killer.
You expect
it's
the whole
not the Joker.
Like kind of score, but it's like, that's just wanna have fun. I don't know what song actually is.
That's not the song.
I know it's not, but
Doom. I can't think of the actual song.
That's what I'm saying. But
I can only remember the words he says when he asked the camera would they do a certain thing to him.
Right.
And apparently he would.
Yeah.
To himself.
This is also a really quotable movie. I think it's the most quotable movie we've covered so far. Because, it got like, hello, Clarice, and it rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Yeah.
And again, all these lines are super creepy because they're delivered by super creepy people. This is just a really creepy movie. Overall.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. Some people say it's a horror movie. I don't think it's scary.
Gets under your skin more.
Yeah, I bought it and wanted to rewatch it recently. I had not seen it in a while, but I bought it after Christmas. I had some, gift money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Went and picked up the special edition, collector's edition DVD because it was like $10 cheaper than Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. Of course, but my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, you went and bought this movie! I love that movie. We have to watch it together." And I was like, "I don't know." And I couldn't remember certain parts. She was like, because the last time she had seen it was when her and my dad were dating, at the theater, and they're like, "Yeah, that was a really good movie." And my dad is like kind of like a pansy. I don't know what you would call it. He used to be really into soap operas and watch, All My Children at General Hospital.
He doesn't like this kind of stuff?
No, not really. Did you watch Law Abiding Citizen?
Law Abiding? No.
Okay. It's
I've never heard of Law Abiding Citizen.
It's got way worse reviews than it deserved. But it's okay. What's this thing with? Is it Russell Crowe? No, it's Gerard Butler. But yeah, he's like this regular engineer or something. But these guys come in and like in a home invasion and knock him out and start raping his like small child and wife.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oy.
And then all this stuff starts happening to these bad guys, and then I don't know if Gerard Butler commits a crime, but he's in prison. But all this stuff keeps happening, and he's doing it while he's in prison. It's a pretty wild movie. You should check it out.
Yeah.
It has horrible reviews, but don't trust them. You
Alright.
could say it could be unfulfilling at the end, but
Like I always say, Spaceballs.
it has a lot of those scenes where you're like, whoa, what? Like,
Yeah, like Spaceballs has like 32% on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
really?
Yeah, yeah. I
This
say
one
to
has-
people, and then
oh,
everyone's
yeah.
like, really? What?
Yeah, no, this has like a 22 or something. But I mean, also you could call it revenge porn, I would say, because it has those elements. It's like this guy, worst thing happens to him, hunts these guys down, finds them. I think that's why he goes. And so like he's a regular guy and starts doing like jigsaw level stuff, and it's like outside of Boston. He like straps this guy to an operation table he found, and like hangs a mirror to the ceiling, and starts like cutting his arms off and makes him like watch, and like does this thing where he like paralyzes his eyes. He can't close his eyes. So he just sit there and like watch himself.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways,
That's creepy actually. That's disturbing.
you should check out this movie. Has a lot of scenes where you're like, what? Like, and there's this whole thing with a T-bone steak.
Oh, stop right there.
Okay.
Oh, we're getting off topic, I think.
Okay, but yeah, my dad, isn't really into like a lot of movies. We started to watch that movie together, and like opening.
Hold on, why do you bring this up in the first place?
What?
Why did you bring up that movie? Because how did
Law
it?
Abiding Citizen?
Yeah, why did it?
No, so
tie
we
this
tried to
at
watch
all?
Law Abiding Citizen together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then like first 5 minutes, he was like, nope, cut it off. Like, I can't watch it, and it like gave him like panic attacks from like thinking of someone like invading your home and like,
no.
hurting your wife and children.
Yeah, I know.
But
that.
this movie on the other hand, it was like, no, it's good. And then my mom wanted to watch it with me, and I was like, I don't know. But then I got time to watch it by myself, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely glad I did not watch that with my mom.
Yeah.
Especially the very first time she meets Hannibal Lecter. Do you remember that scene?
Oh God.
Dear Christ.
Because it's just like the most like.
Worst
what
thing
is this?
possible.
What is this man gonna be like?
What is?
Oh no! And then I don't want to spoil the moment. Really.
It's not what Hannibal Lecter does. It's the guy in the cell next to him. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And like the people around him, I was just like, I don't never want to meet people like that in my life.
I mean,
I don't want to go to jail.
is that a prison or a mental institution?
I believe it's a prison.
Or a prison/mental institution, something.
Because like those people are
Crazy.
were clearly insane.
Yeah, the guy next to him, especially.
I remember like seeing like some like video essay where like the guy was describing how each of the prisoners get worse and worse and worse before you actually see Hannibal Lecter. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of builds that tension of like, oh God, like now we're going up to Hannibal Lecter.
Have you seen the Hannibal South Park episode?
No.
Check it out.
I've seen like my whole South Park viewingship has been super scattered.
No, me too. Like, it's the thing I love the most to have seen the like least amount of. But there's an episode where I think Cartman keeps like TPing people's houses, and the cops can't, and they're like taking it like super serious because there's like no crime, so they're like treating it as if it was like a homicide case of people getting their house toilet papered. And then they're like, we don't care. They're like, we're not pressing charges. They're like, no, you don't understand. But anyways,
This is a menace.
there's a kid like in juvie who's like dressed like Hannibal Lecter, and he's like a notorious TPer, and they're like going to him for help. And no, it's really good. And so, but every time the cop goes, he just keeps like breaking down the cop and getting into his childhood, and it's hilarious. You have to check it out. Okay.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins gives a great performance. So does Jodie Foster. The rest of the cast,
Not so much.
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill does a pretty good job. There are certain things I would change if I make the movie. So, like, it shows the luring of the girl. He has his fake cast on. He has a broken arm. And he's, like, trying to move a ratty couch into his van.
Yeah, it's a really real kind of.
What?
No, it's just like that's exactly how those serial killers would do
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff,
But,
you know?
like, so in the moment, so what happens is girl parks, really shady spot. It's dark at night. Might be drizzling rain. Sees this guy, looks like a Vietnam veteran or something. Looks messed up. Got this cast on. It's like trying to lift this couch with one arm. And then she just walks over there and is like, hey, you need any help? And then she like gets in the, he's like, can you get up? And then like, she picks it up and goes in the van. Then he like pushes it. Like if I were the one making that movie, I would have him be like, hey, could you help me out? Because I think that seems way more likely if someone was like, could you help me out? And you're like, sure. Versus you, woman, knight, random stranger, you need help? Like, and it's not like groceries falling. It's a ratty couch. Does he?
Because he's trying to lure her in.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna like, hey, can you help me?
Yeah. Also, it's not like really planned at all in that part of the movie. He's just like waiting, you know, hoping that some blonde girl will show up to try to help him out.
He's just kind of like lighting a candle and hoping the moths arrive. You know what I mean?
Like it's, you know, that part specifically. Now, this movie gets way better because I rewatched it, you know, fairly recently. First 30 minutes aren't that great. You see Hannibal Lecter.
Slow, actually.
Yeah, very slow. It's slow burn, but.
Don't you not meet Hannibal Lecter until like 30 minutes into the movie or so?
No,
because
I think it's. I mean, it's not. It's
really
that
enough
late
to not be like aggravating, but you know.
How long have we been going?
Almost half hour, 25 minutes, 24.
Have you? Did you look at the clock earlier?
We started at around 8:55.
Okay. Yeah, but so like it picks up.
More like 20 minutes. So yeah, it picks up.
It picks up. It builds the plot. I really love when they get separated and they go to Virginia. When they go to small town, I thought that stuff. A weaker element of the movie, I didn't think was necessary. Jodie Foster, of course, does a great job, and this is like really important to her that she do this, you know. And you have the whole beginning sequence with her doing the FBI training. You know, there are certain points. You know, like I said, it's not a perfect movie for me. I do like it a lot. It's one of the best movies ever made. But as far as not perfect, you know, they're getting her to go after this guy, and then talking with Hannibal Lecter, who's this guy that no one talks to because he's like the Joker. He will turn you into Harley Quinn and make you go crazy. You know, he's psychotic. And she's not even graduated from the academy. Right. I don't get that. You know, if she had recently graduated or she was like top whatever, and they were like, we need you, that makes more sense to me than just some girl who's top of her class but still hasn't graduated from the academy. Or if they pointed out that, like, because they don't really point out, they're like, if all their current investigators couldn't do this, but right now you're killing it at school, and we think you can help. So things like that. Also, I think the elements with her flashbacks to her dad are kind of weak, and they don't have much relevance to the actual story. And then she sees this, and she sees her dad.
The whole film is kind of like the whole point of the whole Silence of the Lambs is her kind of confronting her.
No, that part's very powerful. Right? The actual thing when she flashback to when she runs away.
Yeah.
No spoilers. And then the lambs, that part's really good. But earlier on, like first time she meets Hannibal, walking out to her car, it's just cutting back and forth from her car, her car, her, starts crying, cuts back to her dad's car. And it didn't really, you know.
You could have cut that out, you mean?
Yeah, it didn't vibe as well for me. Yeah, the
I think
flashbacks.
it kind of builds something at least of like, okay, so we are going to see these flashbacks.
I mean, this movie is amazing.
Like, otherwise, then we're suddenly going to have a
this
flashback
is me grasping at straws
halfway through the movie, and it's weird. You know?
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. It's not, in retrospect, that specific scene is not that most relevant.
I think the climax of the movie cannot be more well done. I think that is so great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, say spoilers. I'm going to try to keep it light because it's still really good if you go back and rewatch it. Yeah. If you have not seen it,
really, there's nothing we can say that you're not going to
that hasn't already been said. Yeah.
Right. It's a fairly predictable. There's no real big twist or turn.
No, there's not. But like, there are certain parts that are set up so well structurally, and the bad guy is not someone. You know, it's not a Scooby-Doo effect. You're not ripping a mask off like, it's this guy.
Oh, it was.
No, we know who he is.
We
know who it was the entire time.
Right.
You know, we were watching Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling the whole time, and then her realizing, watching her realize, oh shit, I'm in his house right now.
Right.
I think that is so great. I love that scene so much, and then the whole thing with the dark and the night vision goggles, which was set up earlier. Mm-hmm. Just a great sequence of scenes. Thing with the dog.
The ending is top 5. If not like more, it's probably like my second favorite ending to any movie.
What's your first favorite?
I almost said Citizen Kane. That's not true. Usual Suspects. Usual Suspects has the greatest ending.
How do you feel about The
movie.
Shining ending?
I do love The Shining ending.
I'm not into The Shining ending.
What?
I'm not into it.
Why are you into it?
I'm not into the frozen Jack Nicholson. I'm into the picture. I'm like, oh.
I see what you're saying. Well, that's such a tiny thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cut to throats and Jack Nicholson.
Well,
You're
originally,
wrong, though. There is one objectively greatest ending of a movie of all time, and I think we all know what that is.
I mean, I just said Usual Suspects, so clearly
It's
I don't.
Caddyshack. It's Caddyshack. Caddyshack.
Hey, everyone, let's get laid.
No, like I rewatched that yesterday while I was editing, and just the whole like with the Tchaikovsky.
Oh, that whole thing.
Yeah, it's so great. And then you cut to like Rodney Dangerfield, like, hey, everyone, we're all getting laid. Yeah, that one's great. Also, Dark Knight, top 5. I love the Dark Knight ending, Godfather ending, of course. But ending this movie, so it's got everything. So we don't only blow up the Death Star. So like, metaphorically, that's what they always say about Star Wars. Won't be the same if you didn't have the medal ceremony. You can't just blow up the Death Star in the movie. So in this, we have Jodie Foster going after the guy. So that's our blowing up the Death Star. Then we have her getting awarded from. She graduates the academy and also gets like a Medal of Freedom or something like that.
By the way, spoiler, again.
Sorry.
No, I think it's kind of relevant. You kind of have to spoil this movie in order to talk about it.
No one watches the show, but rewatch it. Also, one thing I'm not going to spoil, go watch Mindhunter on Netflix. It's really good. It's loosely based off of this movie.
Yeah.
Also, the guy who Silence of the Lambs is actually based on, the detective, is like the most famous detective ever. He's like the leading expert on serial killers.
Look
that guy up. He's amazing.
Also, isn't Hannibal like a show? Is that the name of the show?
I don't know. They probably made 1,000 Hannibal shows.
There's the one TV show that they made. There's a ton of Hannibal movies. There's sequels and a prequel to this.
Red Dragon?
Yeah, but no, there's a show. I don't know if it's canon, but it is Hannibal Lecter, and it's like him at like age 20, 30, being a rich entrepreneur who also cooks people.
Okay, so let me go back to this Star Wars analogy. So you have the Jodie Foster thing. You blow up the Death Star. Then gets her Medal of Freedom, graduates from the academy. You have your medal ceremony. But then you cut to Darth Vader one more time to let you know that he's still out there. And metaphorically, which doesn't happen in the original Star Wars.
It doesn't happen in any of the special editions or anything.
No, but I'm saying that's what makes this movie good. It does not end with Jodie Foster getting her Medal of Freedom.
Right.
It ends with the call from Hannibal Lecter, and I'm having a friend for dinner. This whole episode we have not referenced that he's a cannibal at all.
Yeah.
I'm sure most people know that.
If you know Hannibal Lecter, like the most defining characteristic about him is he's a cannibal.
Yeah.
Again, like the famous line is like, I ate a census with something and a side of Chianti.
That was improv?
Yes.
That's crazy. But I watched this video essay the other day, and it was all about the role of ending credits and like the best ones and what they do when they're supposed to slowly release us back into the real world and release us from their world. And so often they'll have the character running off screen or riding into the sunset, so they're like gaining distance away from us. So like with that, and so like, and it shows Clint Eastwood riding across the hills, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. But with this movie, I just have to think in the theater, like it ends with, I'm having a friend for dinner, and then you slowly see Hannibal Lecter escape into like a sea of people. And it's like it's like he enters the theater with you. Like he's among us.
Yeah,
he's with us.
He's after you.
They are out here and they're here to get us.
That's the moral of the story, kids. Cannibal's gonna come and eat you.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up. For me, acting, I'm gonna give it half a star.
That's fair.
One of each.
That's fair, because look, some of the greatest performances of all time, and just for the rest.
I'm just gonna give it a 4. I don't know what we're gonna go into. Well, it's not. Yeah.
I'd say a 4.
Acting good.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Because is it unique? I don't know.
It is based off of books.
It is based off of books in real life. It's it's about a serial killer. They definitely changed the game of how you make a serial killer movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a great film all around, solid watch. It's one of those movies that no matter who you are, it's like probably the least divisive movie I think I know of. Like everyone who watches it is like, yeah, it's really good. Same thing with Whiplash. Everyone who I've ever known who watches Whiplash, they're like, that movie's amazing.
Right.
Watch Whiplash if you haven't. If you watch the show, if you're one of the 2 people who click on it and you will not make it to the end, watch Whiplash, watch this, watch Boogie Nights, and let's do Vertigo next week. You want to do Vertigo?
I think Vertigo's perfect, yeah. Let's do Vertigo.
Rear Window's slow.
Vertigo.
The shots in there are amazing. Like, everything's eye candy.
I need to grab it from... Oh, it's a weird case in here. This is not an advertisement for the Alfred Hitchcock limited edition collection, by the way.
Put it on the camera. Don't do that. Don't you dare do that. Nope.
What?
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing with that? Put it back in
there.
there.
I was gonna hold up the CD.
Oh.
Or DVD.
I thought you were like, yeah, I'm gonna borrow this.
I'm gonna break it in half in front of everyone.
We'll do Vertigo next week. All right.
We're doing that one.
I thought you were like, I'm gonna borrow this, and you were just gonna take the disc and like put it in your pocket. I was like, no, just take the whole thing. I'm cool with you taking 5 movies at once. Like, you know.
Oh, it's good. All right. Well, thanks everyone.
Let's wrap up the show. I'm Worth Burrows.
I'm Gabe Thorpe.
And this is For the Love of Film. We will see you next week when we talk about Vertigo.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's our show.